The wrong response requires retraining your brain. But even so, some overweight people manage to lose the pounds, and a brain that has been trained to respond with depression can be untrained. We all have self-defeating responses, and we don't like what they do to us. It takes time and effort to replace them with better alternatives. In the case of depression, it is now well recognized that changing the self-defeating beliefs of a depressed person can lead to recovery. Beliefs are like software programs that keep repeating the same commands. Only beliefs are more pernicious, since they dig in deeper with every repetition. Here are some examples of the ingrained programming that automatically comes into play when you're feeling depressed, followed by alternative beliefs that counter the depressed response. Trading out toxic beliefs. 1. It's all my fault. Instead, you could think, it's not my fault. It's nobody's fault. The fault hasn't been determined yet. It may be nobody's fault, or finding fault does no good. We should be focusing on the solution. 2. I'm not good enough. Instead, you could think, I am good enough. I don't need to compare myself to others. It's not about good or bad. Good enough is relative. I'll be better tomorrow, or I'm on a learning curve. 3. Nothing will work out. Instead, you could think, something will occur to me. Things have a way of working out. I can ask for help. If one thing doesn't work out, there's always something else. Or being pessimistic doesn't help me find a solution. 4. I knew things would go wrong. Instead, you could think, no, I didn't know. I'm second-guessing. I'm just feeling anxious. It'll pass. Or, looking backward is only good if it leads to a better future. 5. I can't do anything about it. Instead, you could think, I can do something about it. I can find someone to do something about it. I always have the option of walking out. I need to study the situation more thoroughly, or being defeatist isn't helping me make things better. 6. It was just a matter of time. Instead, you could think, I'm not a fatalist. This was unpredictable. This too shall pass. It never rains all the time, or being fatalistic robs me of free choice. We are not saying that all the alternative beliefs work all the time. You must be flexible. The nasty trick of the depressed response is that it paints everything with the same brush. You feel helpless about repairing your car's transmission, who wouldn't, but also about getting out of bed to face the day, a sign of depression. To become flexible, you must beat the depressed response at its own game. How to do that? If your automatic reaction is associated with sadness, helplessness, and hopelessness, refuse to accept it. Give yourself a moment, take a deep breath, and refer to our list of alternative responses. Find one that works. This takes time and effort, but it will pay off. Learning a new response forms new neural pathways in the brain. It also opens doors. What kinds of doors? When you are depressed, you tend to be isolated, lonely, apathetic, inactive, passive, and closed to change. The new doors have exactly the opposite effect. By introducing a new response, you resist the temptation to fall back on old, stale beliefs. Instead of being isolated, you realize that other people are good for you. Instead of being passive, you see that taking charge is also good for you. Another strategy is to break down the depressed response, which feels so overwhelming, into manageable pieces. The best tactic is to take one step at a time, choosing a piece you feel ready to handle. Inertia is depression's best friend. You will always have a hump to get over before you can actually do something positive. So don't turn the hump into a Himalayan peak.